Welcome to Knowledge First. I am Ben Catcher. Learn more about how we help teachers apply the science of learning in their classrooms and check out our curriculum resources at knowledgefirsteducation.com. Today, we are excited to explain the knowledge building cycle, our innovative approach to help students learn incredible amounts of information. Our Knowledge First approach is rooted in cognitive science. On the left, we are looking at a simple model of the brain, which contains two kinds of memory. Our working memory can be thought of as our ability to hold and manipulate a small amount of information in our minds. The amount of information we can hold in our working memory is extremely limited. Most information that enters our working memory is quickly forgotten. Our long-term memory can be thought of as the brain's ability to store information for long periods of time, allowing us to recall past experiences, knowledge, and events long after they have occurred. Knowledge stored in long-term memory may also be quickly forgotten. This forgetting is represented by the image on the right, known as the forgetting curve. As you can see, information in long-term memory is easily forgotten, but each time the memory is recalled, the information is encoded more strongly and the forgetting curve flattens. The most powerful way to keep information in long-term memory is to practice retrieving or recalling the information. As teachers, our task is to get as much information from students' working memory to long-term memory as possible, and then to conquer the forgetting curve so that students keep that information in their long-term memory over long periods of time. The knowledge building cycle is a systematic approach to do just that. A knowledge organizer is a one-page document that contains the most important knowledge students need to know to engage in a unit of study. A knowledge organizer should present information in a format that is easy to encode in memory, including logical categories that help students structure their thinking and identify connections among information. We suggest printing the knowledge organizers on colored paper so that they are easy for your students to find. We help teachers and students use knowledge organizers to learn and retain knowledge for the long term. Let's take a look at each of the 7 steps in more detail. Step number 1, introducing new knowledge. When introducing new knowledge to students, include a screenshot of the new knowledge as it appears on the knowledge organizer. Show students where the new knowledge lives on their knowledge organizer, and ask students to point to the new knowledge on their copy of the document. In this case, my students need to know both the term Proclamation of 1763 and the key date, 1763, so I have included screenshots of both on this slide. Step number 2, retrieval practice, daily do-nows. At the beginning of each lesson, include 3 to 5 retrieval practice questions that require students to recall knowledge. This daily practice has several benefits. First, students will get in the habit of taking out their knowledge organizer right away and using it as a resource. Also, beginning class with retrieval practice ensures that you will not run out of time in your lesson and skip retrieval practice. A few tips to make daily retrieval practice as impactful as possible. Choose a mix of questions from the day before, a week before, and a month before. This is called spaced retrieval training, and evidence shows it is important. Choose questions that relate to the topic of the day's lessons, so you are activating prior knowledge that will help students learn the new information that comes next. And finally, train students to try to answer the questions without the knowledge organizer. Students should only use it if necessary and to check their answers. The knowledge organizer is a great way to differentiate for all students. Students who don't know the information know exactly where to go to find it. Step number 3, retrieval practice drills. Oral drills such as Pepper are a powerful, fast-paced way to incorporate retrieval practice in the classroom. Ask students to stand up with their knowledge organizers in hand. Then follow these steps. Pose a question on the board and read it aloud. Wait so that all students have time to think about the question and formulate an answer in their minds. Then, call on a student at random. If the student does not know the answer, they can look at their knowledge organizer. Lastly, ensure students follow all of the expectations. Speak loudly so all students can hear them. Answer the question in a complete sentence. Use the term in their answer. Toward the end of a unit, challenge students by playing the game without the knowledge organizers. During oral drill, or at any point in your lesson, Choose a couple of higher-level thinking questions that require students to combine information from multiple terms on their knowledge organizer, like the examples on this slide. For these questions, give students time to turn and talk to a partner, or develop a written response before calling on students. Step number 4. Review related knowledge before new knowledge. The slide we have been looking at about the Proclamation of 1763 relates to Western expansion and conflict with Native Americans and takes place in Unit 3 of my course. In Unit 4, we cover the Black Hawk War, an example of Western expansion and conflict with Native Americans that takes place in this unit. Before reviewing the Black Hawk War, I review the Proclamation of 1763. This gives students another opportunity to recall the Proclamation of 1763 and activates prior knowledge that will help them learn the new information about the Black Hawk War. Another way to do this is to show the slide about the Black Hawk War first, and then ask students what they remember about Western expansion in Unit 3. After students consider that question, then show them the previously learned information about the Proclamation of 1763. Step number 5. Student-led retrieval practice before formative assessment. Before quizzing students on the knowledge they have learned throughout the unit, give them a structured opportunity to practice. Print a handout with all of the terms on the knowledge organizer in question form. Assign each student a partner. Have the first student ask their partner each question. The student answering the questions should try to answer without using their knowledge organizer, only looking if they are stuck or to check their answers. The partner asking the questions should place a check next to the terms that their partner could answer without their knowledge organizer. After reviewing each question, the partners should switch roles. At the end of the session, each partner will review the list and know to study the terms that they could not yet answer without the knowledge organizer. Encourage students to use the handout to continue studying and self-assessing themselves at home. Step number 6, formative assessment. Step number 6 is a short quiz on the key knowledge students have studied throughout the unit. Include a mix of multiple choice and short answer questions. The quiz serves 3 main purposes. First, it is another opportunity for retrieval practice, helping students lock information in their long-term memory. Second, it holds students accountable and encourages them to study. And third, it reveals gaps in students' knowledge that you can address. Allow students to retake these quizzes. We want all of them to learn all of the information. Step number 7, students using knowledge organizers to produce exemplary work. Ultimately, our goal is knowledge first, not knowledge only. We want students to use the knowledge they have learned through the knowledge building cycle to think deeply and produce exemplary work. In this example, students write a paragraph supporting a claim about how Americans' ideas about American independence changed over time, in the years prior to the American Revolution. After citing evidence from a set of provided primary source documents, students are instructed to include outside evidence that they have learned previously in the unit. At the beginning of the year, I allow students to use their knowledge organizers to identify appropriate evidence to include in their paragraphs. By the end of the year, students have acquired so much knowledge through the knowledge building cycle that they no longer need their knowledge organizers. That is the ultimate goal of the knowledge building cycle. Thank you for watching. To learn more about how we help teachers apply the science of learning in their classrooms and to check out our curriculum resources, please visit knowledgefirsteducation.com.